Okay, I managed to crash my DJI Mini 2 this morning. I took off straight up, hit a branch, and the thing tumbled down, and now the gimbal is broken, as you can see right here. So here's the gimbal, and the arm there just kind of broke off. I'm gonna see if I can't fix that up. And here's another little view of the broken arm. It's right in that area right there. So the first thing is to split the case apart. We have a screw right here, 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 and here. I'll remove those so we can go ahead and take the case apart. And these are the tiny little screws that I just removed. So now I just went around using these little screwdrivers right here and pried the top off very carefully, going around from the back toward the front, and took about 10 minutes to do that. Came off very nicely. Here's a little shot of the underside of the top case. I don't see any damage to anything, so looks like it's just fine. Okay, that makes it a whole lot easier to see what we're dealing with here. And here's the break right here on the arm casing. And this little wire right here obviously goes right back in that little channel right there. So it's too hard to work in this confined area right in here, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the arm completely here. And just got some rubber shock absorbers on there where it pinches into the frame. I'll go ahead and remove that. So those little shock absorbers were very easy to remove. I just used a screwdriver and pushed right in there and popped these right out. No problem there. And now I'll do the same thing with these two lower attachments. And those came out very easily as well. Okay, so there is the broken part of the gimbal arm glued back together. You can see it back in there. I just put a little bit of super glue on there to kind of set it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some epoxy, 30-minute epoxy, let that set up, and then I'll put a little bit of carbon fiber over it. It should be good to go. Okay, I've got several coats of epoxy on there as well as fiberglass. And I'm using this really, really thin fiberglass cloth here, cutting little square patches and put it on there. I've got about 3 on there. I'll let it set overnight. I'm going to put 1 more on there and put it all back together. And here's a little patch ready to go. You can see how light and flexible this stuff is. And there's the last patch of fiberglass setting up down in there. And this is the epoxy I use to bond the fiberglass with. You can get this stuff at Hobby Lobby along with the fiberglass cloth. It's great for all kinds of household repairs. And there's the top 2 installed. And the bottom 2 there and there. Everything looks good. And now we'll go ahead and put the top shell or casing back on. And it's in place. I'm going to go ahead and press it closed. And now we'll go ahead and put the screws back in. Right here, here, and here, and here. Here's the case after it's been screwed back in and snapped on all the way. Nice good seal on it. And the other side. Nice, it stays nice and level. Very good. Okay, we'll test the gimbal rotation. All the way down. Back to normal. All the way up. Yeah, looks great. Looks like the repairs worked out pretty well. Okay, now we'll go ahead and check the gimbal. We'll go down all the way. Looks good. Camera seems to be working just fine. Right at level, all the way up. I always allow for upward gimbal rotation, so when I'm going uphill I can get the sky in there. All right, looks perfect.